Morning, everybody. My name's Jason. You've obviously seen me before on this panel, but today I'm going to be emceeing our other Jason. Jason Lowe is off today, so it's all hands to the pump. This is going to be the fourth session in our pilots, and we've got a few different friends today, or one more friend today, in our colleague Tam Nguyen to come and talk with myself and Jason and Sonal.
Join the fun. Yeah.
Join in the fun. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, I heard you guys were having so much fun. I thought I'd just gate crash. So yeah.
Yep. Always welcome, Tam. So as you can see, today's topic is going to be delivering fast analytics at a mixed workload. So I'm just going to pop up a poll and get you guys' thoughts on what this might mean to you, and then we'll get on with the show. So here comes the poll. Very interesting. Okay.
We need a tiebreaker.
It is a tiebreaker, yes, yeah. Okay,
well, that's probably all right, because we weren't. If anyone said lake house, we'd probably be quickly Googling away.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we understand lake house is a new term, and if you haven't got into that yet, it's basically. Franco's asking, what about data mesh? Yes, that's another term that seems to be doing the rounds at the moment as well.
But, lake house to me reminds me of some holiday, you know.
Yeah.
Sitting by the lake, you know, sipping on a glass of wine. That's what lake
horror
house
movies
reminds
as well.
me.
You know, they always seem to be in the middle of nowhere.
So look, Jason, what does it mean to you? What does this term mean, or this subject mean to you, basically?
Well, yeah, so I think it's a little bit along the lines of the Converge database, but I'd sort of even take a little bit of a step back. You know, my background has been in database consolidation and just sort of as a service models more generally. So when I look at the faster analytics, I look at it from the perspective of unlocking access to the database platforms. And, you know, you go to consolidate your systems. We still have a lot of customers who have got, you know, their databases all over the place on, you know, not necessarily high performance platforms. So in saying that, every year we get customers who are standardizing, moving on to our high performance platforms, release the restrictions on particularly IO. And then you can start having these mixed workloads together rather than having, you know, isolated copies and restricting access. So
absolutely,
to me, it's around, you know, bringing things together, high performance platforms, our engineered Exadata, high performance rack scalability, and then the different deployment models. So unlocking access to the data. We've got lots of customers who have got multi-terabyte data warehouses mixed with transaction systems and the like. So I think, to me, that's a reinforcement of get them together, standardize, and unlock the access to them.
Yeah, and a good analogy is, like, think of your smartphone, right? Like, you know, at one point in time, maybe 10, 20 years ago, maybe 30, you would have, now I'm showing my age, you would have a Walkman, you know, to listen to your music, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you have your cordless phone to, you know, you know, make calls on, and
camera.
a camera and a video cam to record. But today you're bringing all that together on the one device, right? A smartphone, and we can actually look at the multi-model Converge database similar to that. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's about bringing everything together onto the one platform. So yeah,
it's really interesting. I did a webinar a few months ago with one of our colleagues, Martin Lambert, and we had a really great slide that showed, you know, we have relational, we have great relational, we now have the XML, as you mentioned, the JSON, we now have blockchain, but we also have the, you know, page type databases. So what people would go off to say use Mongo and other such things like that for. You can actually do all of these different formats in the one place on the Oracle database. And I remember going to a Gartner conference around big data and stuff like that, and they actually said, put all your data in Oracle, because, you know, apart from what it costs you to buy the storage, there's no extra licenses for that. You buy your cores, or you put it in the cloud, and it is the most secure platform because, you know, we have some great security features around our data, and we know who's accessing it, what they're doing with it, you know, and it also supports all those other formats, you know.
My experience has been, you know, with Power BI and Tableau and, you know, our own analytics tools, you know, they can all run against the same sort of platform, same database. So there's two elements. There's the visualization of the analytics, which is the reporting tools and the like. But if you can get fast access to the data and unlock the access to it, then more people can use it, and you're not restricting only run here, there, and the other. So I think that to me is the sort of the key thing from the data layer to unlock the visualization.
As you bring all this consolidation together and all these different data sources and applications into one place, you've got to be able to manage them, and you've got to be able to do some analytics on what's actually going on and making sure you're providing a really good service out to people.
Well, that's even without bringing them together as well.
Yeah,
you know, this is just more end-to-end view of apps and multiple databases. So Tam, so we pivot away from the traditional users doing business analysis of the data. What's your perspective on analyzing data?
Yeah, look, that's a good point. You know, as you said, you know, often a lot of people talk about business data being a gold mine, right? But what they don't really often think about is that telemetry data, the operational data, right? That these systems actually generate in the back end. So it's actually, in fact, just as important, right? Especially for the IT staff, right? They have a lot of challenges. You know, data can be quite voluminous. You know, they're battling to keep their systems up. You know, obviously they sometimes get a bad rap for things like bad performance. And, you know, end users often are the first one ringing in, you know, saying, you know, we have this problem, and the IT staff had no idea about it, right?
Well, it goes back to your phone as well, Tam, analogy, because everyone is so, they have an expectation that everything just works now.
Oh, exactly.
A number of you know, business hours only systems have gone. You know, they're you know, everyone wants things now, and you know, you got to keep it all up. So you got to have that visibility, don't you?
Yeah, and not just that, but there's also other challenges that IT staff face, which, you know, obviously the business people don't see, right? You know, you've got things like, you know, staff looking after multiple technologies, deployments on premise, deployments in cloud, and then they've got multiple tools to manage different things, right? And often a lot of this data is actually siloed, and you know, for IT staff being able to troubleshoot, it's not easy, right? It's often quite complex, and you know, there's a lack of that visibility across the fleet, lack of visibility across the application infrastructure stacks. So you know what IT staff are looking for is some way or some management tool or capability which helps them get those insights, and that's what we do at Oracle. We actually are able to do that in some of our management solutions.
Well, I think it's also flagging that up early as well. So if you can start to see that there's going to be an issue, you need to be able to head it off at the pass. So to have that up to the minute analytics, and to have that system where you can look and go, right, I can see a problem coming here, not trying, and so you got a chance to react rather than, oh, it's broken, I need to do something.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, we've actually got 3 management solutions out there today. So obviously a majority of people who are DBAs or have used Oracle technology, they would be familiar with the Enterprise Manager, and that's actually our flagship management platform, and really designed to support the Oracle Red Stack. However, we do have some limited capabilities to support non-Oracle as well. We also have Oracle Management Cloud, and that's delivered as a service in OCI, basically giving you that visibility across your application infrastructure, but it's really designed more for Oracle and heterogeneous kind of technology. So you can actually bring all those different technologies and be able to correlate when there are issues end to end.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
The third one is observability and management. So this one's the one that Clay gets really excited about.
And that's the new one. That's the new one, isn't
it?
Yeah.
Yes. So Clay is our Executive Vice President for OCI. So he basically loves talking about observability management. It's the next best thing, right? And it talks about really design to drive hybrid and multi-cloud observability monitoring capabilities, right? And it's actually OCI native. So similar to OMC, it's delivered as a service on OCI. But it's actually bringing the best capabilities of both our Enterprise Manager EM and Oracle Management Cloud OMC.
Yeah, I mean, and I think this is the thing to make people realize that EM is not going anywhere. I mean, there is a lot of the tools that we provide to the database via the options that use EM as their front end. They're good, they're effectively their GUI to be able to work. So, it's definitely a tool that is still going from strength to strength, and it's very easy to install on OCI as well with using the marketplace images. So it will, but as a new user to the cloud, there will be that more tendency to use the new insights and operational. And we've made that very easy. As you create a database, there's a button that you click. Straight away, it builds up the service, and then it also lends itself out to data safe, which will help monitor what sort of type of data you have in the system and allow you to make sure that you're protecting your your data that needs to be secured, as well as if you need to share that data out for development, you've got the ability to mask and subset it as well.
I think one of the things, Jace, was what was your view on this? Just keeping an eye on
from my point of view, when I think about the analytics, I mean, and I'm always the man that's going to go to our new service on OCI, the autonomous database, and it just does go from strength to strength to strength. I mean, with the new database actions that we've brought out over the last few months, and we started with an MVP version of that product where we just had a few tools in there, and we've now actually got data insights in there. So it's basically a very, I call it sort of like a quick cut down version of the amazing things we get in Oaks. I mean, Oaks is our premium analytic tool for reporting and doing AI, but there's a really nice tool in there called Data Insights, and they've now brought the Data Insights into database actions. So you've got this ability to load and manipulate the data, and if you want to do some quick basically graphs on that data to get some understanding of what's going on in there, you can actually do that inside database actions, which is really nice. And then for the more data science type the citizens or the scientists, we've now expanded on our notebooks, and we not only have PL SQL, but we also have Python in there as well now. So you can start to really do some really cool data science type things, as well as just normal reporting in there. But we have got a lot of nice, easy to use GUIs. I was ingesting some data, you basically connect it up to your favorite object store, and that may be OCI, it may be some others. You can pull data in through the actions GUIs, and then you can start running some very basic analytics on it. And then if you want to go to that next level, you can then obviously crank up the Oaks, as we call it, Oracle Analytic Cloud Service, and you can really get some amazing insights into your data. So we've got lots of great ways to be able to do the analytics, but we just wanted to show everyone on the call today that it wasn't just about reporting and the business side of analytics. It is also about that operational side as well.
So I think that's where once again, the ease. So one of the questions was, how do we show people who don't understand this? Well, we have free tiers. We have, you can spin these environments up for a few hours, see what it looks like. We have a lot of people who are still using spreadsheets and older tools. So even though, there's lots of reporting tools, we've got simple access. You guys are the DBAs. You know that the database platform is safe, secure, and up to date. If it can provide faster outcomes to the end users, and they see how it goes. We don't need to do these big, do a big deals, big commitment now to see what the technology looks like and get the technology in the hands of the people.
And get a demo, or if your company's already got a tenancy, you can obviously use some of the nice thing is you can use the free tier, and it seems that we're expanding that list of things that are available in the free tier all the time. As well as if you're already an existing customer, we actually have some of our features that that are paid options that we do give you free. Now, one of those, and
Tell us more.
Well, yes, but wait, no, there's more.
Pam, is there anything you can share with the people?
Yes, is there something maybe that would be really awesome for analytics that we have in the
look,
what would be a differentiator? Why would someone who thinks Oracle's a dinosaur maybe look at Oracle again?
Look, I think since we're on the topic of analytics and mixed workloads, I think you know, it's really exciting to know that, you know, Oracle is offering some free capabilities in our 19C database. To be able to leverage to get optimal performance, you can actually leverage our in-memory database.
Can you show us how easily that works, Tam?
Yeah. So let me just share my screen.
But that's a high cost premium option, isn't it?
Well, normally you would need to buy a license for it. You know, prior to 19C, you would have to pay a license for it. But in 19C, you can actually configure it to up to 16 gig at no extra cost.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. So you can
so this is where we can get people playing with it, see initial value, and then work out how, you know, to justify it moving forward.
We apologise for the people that aren't DBAs, and I know if Stuart was on the call, one of our other Tech Talk panelists, he would be going, no,
don't show the black.
So it's very easy to set up, right? Like, you know, there's no application code changes whatsoever. You just got to set a few parameters in the database. So to leverage the free option, what you do is you set the in-memory force parameter to base level, right?
Yeah, right.
So just one other caveat is you need to have 19C with the patch release update 8 or later.
And we'll send a link through with
the blog. There's a blog about this, right? And then the other setting you do is you set the in-memory size. So you can set this size up to 16 gig to take advantage of that no extra cost, right? So, but I put 2 gig because, you know, I'm not running anything super big, and I just want to quickly show you, you know, the capability. So what I do now is I then, once I've done that, so you'll probably need to restart your database once you've set these parameters. You then go in and pick the tables that you want to actually run in memory, right? So I've just picked a few tables here as an example.
Is that just saying in memory, and it pins them into memory? That's awesome.
And then I would run a query. So this is the query. This is a script that I've got, but it's actually printed out here of what I've actually run within that script.
Yeah.
So the first thing is I'm going to run this query that's been without in memory, right? Okay. So that's taken me 14 seconds to run. I put it in memory. And it's pretty much come back in under 1 second, right? If you think about this, if you're running reports that are running for hours or minutes, you could potentially bring this down to minutes.
And we've got customers, you know, I've worked with customers who have done this.
That's very powerful, isn't it? I mean, now, and for our non-Oracle people who we also have a similar thing in our SQL, MySQL service as well, called MDS. So there, you know, we do have a couple of different options for memory, in-memory type things like that, but that is very cool, Tam. And the other thing,
and no change, right? You just parameters.
So no application code changes, because when people get worried about, how am I going to optimize performance? Do I need to rewrite my queries and stuff? And so you can actually, one other thing is that when you do enable the in-memory capability, you can do it per session, or you can actually do it at a database level. So that's just something to note as well.
And I've just got up on the screen here to show everybody. Here is the live lab where you can actually try that stuff out that Tam just showed you yourself. You know, Tech Talk regulars will know that we always talk about, hey, Tech Talk regulars, always talk about, we'll have badges and T-shirts made up one day maybe. about live labs. Obviously, it's a great way to try these things out, either in your own tenancy, as you've now seen, because you can get some free resource there, without having to license it to try it out. But also, some nice, easy to follow through steps here. You can see on the side here the different labs to be able to get everything going, enable it, and then try it out. So it's just a really great way, rather than you having to, wander around the internet looking for blog posts and stuff. I mean, obviously, Red Thunder blog is really good, and we have a lot of great articles on there. Jason Lowe, who is normally the MC of the Tech Talks, he's always putting lots and lots of things on there. Sonal, yes, you had a question.
We actually have a question from Alwinder. Maybe it's addressed more towards our DBAs. So
okay,
we want to know if you guys have flushed the buffers before the second run. That
I knew someone was going to ask that question.
So the question, Tam, is would it have been faster if you ran the non in memory twice? Sorry.
Yeah, I thought, oh, if I was on the other side of this call, I'd say, oh, that was in cache.
Sorry, what was the question? Sorry.
Well, so did you flush the buffer? So you ran it with no memory, and then you switched on memory, and of course it reduced down, but was it just because it was all in cache already? Effectively memory.
No. So I actually started up the database. From basically, she shut down the database, started it up, and I just ran it the once off. So that's just an example of what I actually done.
Yeah, well, we can run it twice, and we'll show you the delta. But in memory is definitely going to be faster.
Yeah,
for certain queries. Yeah.
Look, for our skeptics out there, please try the live lab that I just showed you there on the screen, and try it for yourself. I think that's the great thing here. You can try it in there, and we'll give you the free, the demo resources to try it yourself. Yeah. Or the really nice thing is, now if you've got 19C with that patch level that Tam mentioned, you've got 16 gigs of in-memory you can try. And remember, we said last week that there's also up to 3 PDBs you can have free as well to try out the consolidated multi-tenant as well, which is really good. Now, look, we're just coming up to the end of the half hour here. And I just would really like to thank all the panelists for coming along today. Thank you, Tam, Sonal, Jason, and Helen. I don't know if anyone can see. Helen, always wave to Helen. She's always here in the background, keeping us on track. Thank you to our sponsors, obviously, Ben and Franco, and of course, Larry. Now, this is the fourth session of Tech Talks, and this was a pilot. Now, we are looking to carry this on, and we do expect to have another one in a fortnight's time. But we would love feedback from our Tech Talk viewers, basically, to see, is this working? Do you like this format of learning things? If you've got,
what else can we do?
Other subject areas
feedback,
that you'd love us to talk about. We're ears are always open. We would love to hear from you, and we certainly will answer all your questions and get back to you. Either technical, or if it's a sales question, Ben and the team will get back to you as well. So just like to sign out.
So I think we'll send out an email as a bit of a follow-up, just as your experience over the past 4 sessions. And please, if this is worthwhile, we're keen to keep engaging with people in this format, but we want it to be worthwhile. So
absolutely,
just let us know what you think. We're open to suggestions.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. And thanks for coming today, guys. And I'm just going to close out the call unless anyone's got any final words they wish to say. I'm glad to see, that you are finding it useful. And look, we can make this as useful as you want. If there are certainly some areas that you would love us to talk about, obviously not Tam, because she's only young, but I mean, the rest of us are old lags,
I'll buy you a drink later, Jason. Thank you.
No worries. I mean, I'm 35 years plus in IT, started with version 5 of Oracle.
We don't have time to hear.
Gone through all the other products. So between us, we have a wealth of information, so we can talk about any of these subjects. And if we can't, we will bring on our other team members like Tam and anyone else in our specialist team to talk. So feel free to bring up any other topics.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for coming today. Okay, guys, I'm going to close out the call and we will finish Tech Talks for today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot for coming.
everyone.
Take care and be safe. Cheers.
Bye, guys.